So Gretsch introduced some new Electromatics this week. At least they updated the line, and I want to take a look at one model in particular, the 5420. There's a new web page up for some of these guitars. This is the 5420, which is the one I'm kind of interested in. And the first thing I've got here on the right, the new web page with the new incoming model, and on the left, this is the outgoing 5420. The first thing I'm noticing is the colors, the color differences. Under the old model, the outgoing model, it was available in aspen green, candy apple red, this Fairlane blue color, and of course the classic orange stain. There's some new colors available now. This airline silver is nice. It's pretty cool. This is Azure Metallic. I think this has been available I know on some of the other models. It was not a standard color for the outgoing 5420 though, so they replaced the Fairlane for this. So there's still a blue in the lineup. Of course, the classic orange stain, which you got to have. And then this one is the most interesting to me. This walnut stain. This is a very pretty color. And this one has a lot of nice grain in the wood. Yeah, that's nice. But there are more differences afoot than just that. If we get down into the specifications here, there's some interesting changes now. One, there's a new version of the Filtertron, Blacktop Filtertron pickup. This new model, they're calling the FT-5E Filter'Tron, which promises to explode the voice of the guitar with huge bodied punch, classic chime, and enhanced presence, clarity and note definition. So we'll see. I actually have a Gretsch guitar here now, a limited edition 5427 that Gretsch did for Musician's Friend and Guitar Center that has that pickup in it. So I've been playing it here now got it here for about a month. And I have a 5420 with the older outgoing Blacktop Filtertron in it to compare it to, and they do sound different. I actually did a comparison video on those, and I'm not sure it came out so well in the video, the differences in tone. I think if you get a chance to hear that, the clips that have the distortion with the chords at the end of the video, I think you can hear more of a difference. But in person with the guitars here, you can definitely notice a difference. Now, there are some other changes in the guitar besides just the difference in the Filtertron. This one actually now, the new model, has Trestle Bracing, which is interesting. So those are two pretty significant differences: an upgraded Filtertron and a Trestle Bracing on the guitar. So if we compare the specs, into the outgoing model, you look at the bodies here. You can see the older model, they have the sound post bracing listed, and I think that's the way the 5420s and the 5120s before that were. I think the 5420s were that way. All the 5120s, all the 5420s until this recent model, I think, have had the sound post bracing. You can see on the right side here, the new model, they've got the Trestle Bracing listed. This is kind of interesting too. If we look at the binding on these, and I was looking at this earlier, and the more you look at it, the more noticeable it is, I think. But the binding on the outgoing model was an aged white binding. The new one is just listed as white, and it is whiter. If we pull up a picture and compare the orange stains, I think it's most noticeable. You can see here around the sound pole. This is the newer model, how much whiter this binding is compared to the cream binding in the outgoing model. It's quite noticeable. So, I think they both look good. It's just, which do you like? Do you like the cream or do you like the white? The white stands out a little bit more. So, it's kind of cool. Another thing too, and this is something I paid more attention to after I read about it than when I actually played them. But the outgoing model had what they called a standard U-shaped neck. It's a fairly shallow front to back neck, and it is U-shaped. The new model has what they're calling a classic C neck, and I got those back out earlier. The 5427. I haven't played the new 5420, but we're going to look at the 5427 in a minute. I think the 5427 is what they have turned into this new 5420, but it also has a classic C neck. I think it's going to be the same neck that's on this guitar. And, you know, it is deeper from front to back. It's a thicker neck on the 5427, and I think that's going to be on the new 5420 with this classic C neck also. Other than that, it got the same Graphtec new bone nut on both of these. Same nut width. They mentioned in the literature up here somewhere about the smaller 50s shaped headstock. Don't know exactly where that it's on here somewhere, but the outgoing 5420 had that. You can see it listed here in the specs under the neck on this one. The electronics, I think besides the FT-5E Filter'Tron, I think the electronics are the same. They make it a point to mention that the new model has treble bleed circuit, but the outgoing model had that too. So I think the only real difference in the electronics is this new pickup. Again, this FT-5E Filter'Tron, which is promising more of everything. So click on the hardware. This is interesting too. I actually need to go back to the neck section because we missed something, and this is making me realize that. But if you look at the bridge here, they have this listed as having a laurel base underneath the Tune-O-Matic bridge, the Adjust-O-Matic. This is the new model. The outgoing model was rosewood. Actually, if I go back to the necks, this is another fairly significant change. It will be for some people, I know. The outgoing model, the fingerboard, is actually rosewood. And the new one we'll see is laurel wood. So that is a change for sure. It's funny, on the new model they make it a point to mention that it has the Gretsch knurled strap retainer knobs, right? It's not on the old one, but it did have those. Both these models had these. This is the old one here on the left, the outgoing model. You can see the knurled strap retainer knob. It appears to be the same one that's on the new model. So I think those are the same. So those are the differences that I'm seeing. The white binding instead of the cream binding, the C-shaped deeper neck on the new model, the newer Filtertron pickups on the new model, the laurel fretboard instead of rosewood on the new model, and then this trestle bracing. So quite a few differences. The price is actually lower too. The outgoing model was $849. They lowered the price to $799. One of those reasons may be because it looks like they're moving production from. This is the outgoing model from Korea. This new one doesn't have anything on the back of the headstock on the picture. But if we pull up the left-handed version of this is the same guitar. This is the left-handed version. They do have the Crafted in China sticker on the back of it. And actually, Sweetwater has some of the new models in. You can look at pictures of them, and they also say Crafted in China. So this apparently they've moved production from Korea to China, which may be how they're saving money and selling these a little bit cheaper. So one other thing that's I wanted to look at here. So this is the 5427. This is a model that Gretsch did a limited run for Guitar Center and Musician's Friend. They offered this in two colors. It was available in this orange stain and then also Midnight Sapphire. The one I have here is actually Midnight Sapphire, the one I did the videos for. The only real difference, the orange stain one has a maple top, which is pretty neat, and it has the thumbnail inlays. The Sapphire model that I have here is a painted top, an opaque top, and has the tombstone inlays, which are kind of neat. But if we look at the specs on this, so see this one. This is the 5427. This has the newer FT-5E Filter'Tron pickups, which promise the same bold voicing and huge full-bodied punch, classic tone, chime, all that. It also has the classic C neck. You know, this is again the new model. We get the classic C neck with that. Yeah, they mentioned here it has the late 50s bound headstock. I've got the laurel fretboard on this, which is the same as the new one. So the 5427 and the new 5420 are both going to be laurel. And then also we'll see the 5427 has the trestle block bracing, just like the new 5420. Yep, trestle block bracing right here, which promises faster attack with more focus, snap, and increased sustain, and less feedback too, apparently. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder if the 5427 is going to stay in the lineup. Probably not. It looks like this is probably just a limited edition. When they sell out of these, they'll be gone. But this is kind of what has turned into this guitar anyway. With different colors, but it appears to be the same guitar. So the 5427 and the new 5420, we get the trestle bracing. So it looks to me like too. Yeah, the 5427 also had the white binding instead of the aged cream binding. It looks like the same pick guard. Yeah, everything. So these appear to be the same guitar except for the flame maple top. So what do people think about this? It's interesting. I do like this this walnut stain model. That is pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, that's the new 5420, also made in China, which you can see here on the 5427. Or crafted in China. Again, they're not on the pictures on the Gretsch website. They're not showing that. You can see it on the left-handed model. And again, if you go to the Sweetwater website, I'm sure the other dealers are getting them too. They do have models in stock, and you'll also see that. So I don't. Are there any Gretches still made in Korea after this at the Samick factory? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for checking the video out.